following our superiors. I'll be damned. I am not their subject. They are not my superior, and they can, I'm going to lose it. They can kiss my ass if they expect me to be following their direction when they are being the people that they are and holding the services of California subject to their whims and their complaints and their friggin' whining. We are better than they are, and I really expected this board to be better than them in passing this, because we developed this over a year, folks. And then we emphasized and we allowed the board, or the direction to the staff, to hear us, and they have heard us. And they will be bringing back these policy situations that we asked them to do within the second quarter, which will be a time frame to allow for the subvention of county funds by the state possibility, to look at furloughs, because there is a number of discussions that will have to be made, to look at revenue generation. We can't balance a budget on anticipated revenue improvements of franchise fees, which we haven't even had the discussion on. That would be as voodoo as some folks are saying that this budget is today. You have to have things concrete, and what we're being asked to do is vote on what is concrete today and still allow for the changes that might be coming down the pike later on. I'm sorry. I made a couple comments there that I probably regret, but they need to be said for the citizens that we're elected to represent. I'm just very frustrated that it's coming down to holding this in abeyance or hostage or however you want to call it. I promised the CEO I would go to him, so at this point I will keep my mouth shut and I will move to the CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think what all of us are frustrated by the entire process going on throughout the state of California. From my perspective, the state has finally come to a conclusion. They have a budget, but the governor is now talking about vetoing the budget. So we don't have a budget in California yet. We'll know this afternoon. If the governor vetoes the budget, then it'll take a 2/3 majority to override. I think our goal was always to, in the executive office, is to see what the state was doing and how it would impact us. And we kept several things that off the table basically until we knew what the state was going to do. We needed to have some options. I think the budget before you, as many things that are left unsaid, I think it is a balanced budget. We intended to follow through with your board's direction to immediately begin looking at furloughs, and returning to the board with a number of other issues that are out there. You cannot negotiate in bad faith with your union groups, so in order just to say that we're going to furlough employees, it's a more complicated process than that. You've got to deal with the extra help issue that has to occur before you start talking furloughs. You've got to deal with the overtime issues before you start talking about furloughs. So we have an immensely complicated process at the local level as well as the state level. If it was as easy as saying the board could adopt furloughs, we could have given you that recommendation in the budget, but it's more complicated than that, and we do need to open discussions on that subject. Personally, I think that years and years of financial decisions that have been made by all parties involved in the process are coming home to roost, just like people who've lived off their credit card accounts. We got an email a little while ago. There's a Monterey County, I believe, invested some of their money in, Lehman Brothers, and they're now going to have to file a bankruptcy action in order to recover money they had invested in Lehman Brothers. I don't think any of us could have predicted that 6 months ago or a year ago, that a county would be going after a major financial institution in the United States for bankruptcy proceedings. So I think there are a number of issues here at play that have complicated the process of the budget. I think we very clearly understand, our office does, where the board would like to go. My concern is that we would like direction today, if it need be, by a 3-2 vote, because obviously if we can't come together on an agreement, for us to get a 4/5 vote after the budget is adopted is going to be even more complex to do. So I think it's really critical that you give us direction, at least by a 3-2, of what areas you would like us to pursue, because it's going to be harder to make changes after that process is adopted. So, and as far as what do we do if we don't adopt the budget, I think there's a lot of, Janine and I were just conferring on possible outcomes, and there are fines related to it. But I think one of the things we would immediately have to start doing is probably laying off our employees and issue them not furlough notices, but we'd have to terminate the services of our employees if we don't have a budget, because there are not funds available to back that up. I think there are some actions you could probably take to extend the budget process in working with the state controller's office, but again, you put a workload back on the auditor controller.